Yes. Hello. Hi, Zach.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hey, Zach. I'm doing great. How are you? After a long time, huh?
Good. Yes. So we are back with a bang.
Yes, we are back.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. So I believe the previous session that we did was about getting started with DevOps, and probably we laid the foundations and what steps to go ahead with. So today, taking that forward, let's go into infrastructure as code, because that's the most important thing when we speak about DevOps, right? Because a lot of applications has a lot of environments, and managing them is a hassle. So when we are doing that, infrastructure as code makes it a lot easier and more manageable. So yeah, let's get started with infrastructure as code.
yes.
So
So,
Zach, you want to share screen?
yes. So today I'll be doing the session. Basically, what we thought of doing is rather going to directly to the hands-on, get your hands dirty. We thought of share some of the use cases or past experience and the best practices and why this is really important. This IAC or else infrastructure as code, and everyone is talking about what's this IAC or infrastructure as code and what is important and the dangerous side of not doing that. So we thought of going few. We don't have any slides, but yes, because slides kind of boring for us, right? Yeah, so we'll go with how these impact the business, even though, right? Because end of the day, everything is a business. With last sessions we discussed. Everything is about business, right? So we deliver business and we give the product quality. It can be a product, it can be a service, so on. So let's see first why this is really important to business. Okay, I'll ask a question. So, Zach, so you think
Yes.
we have a development team and they wanted to
Mhm.
build infrastructure. So this new project is going to be in multiple AWS accounts for such as development, staging, UAT, in production, maybe 4 accounts. And they want to build maybe a 3T architecture with 3 subnets
Mhm.
and multiple ALBs, multiple maybe EKS clusters, S3 buckets, DynamoDB, you name it. There's so many resources will be there. So if they want to test everything like a POC in the development, yes, they can do it manually. Yes, because it's going to be a POC. After that, what next should be done? Should be documented, and if there are any new steps they found or any bottlenecks, they're document and discuss with the team, right? So what if we can automate this process, how we create in the development to staging, UAT in development, right? Production. So what we can save basically, right? What we can, mainly the cost and the time. Okay, if you're hiring a few engineers to do this task, okay, if they are going to do within um, 5 4 months, for if they're doing it manually in the console level, if you've done the same thing in the development, and within same day you can deploy to UAT stage in a production, right? Because everything is a code, and you cannot code can be cheat, because it's going to be a yes or no, if this works or no. If there's error, you have to fix it, something like that. So one more thing is the cost. Yes, because the time spent going to be spent on the multiple infrastructures. So imagine if you're doing in one account, and you don't want to have to duplicate it again and again, right? So that's one of the thing. And the risk. So imagine you have an employee, and he or she has done everything, and suddenly leaving the organization, anything could be happen. So where's this all the knowledge and everything, right? So if your infrastructure is in a code, like it can be represent anywhere, anytime, you can reproduce everything, and main the consistent. So you may be using some conditions or some special configuration in your development, and you forget to do in production. So if you imagine, like if you're using the same thing in all the infrastructures, if it's in the code level, so it's the consistency going to be there. So all environment going to be have the same level of configuration. And the cost optimization, yes. So as I mentioned before, we're going to have a good in cost optimization with all resources. And the good thing is, there are some tools, Zach. When you build the maybe using Terraform is one of the IAC, one of the famous for infrastructure as code. One is CloudFormation. If you're using AWS, CloudFormation is really awesome. You can do build your infrastructure using that, and there are so many other tools as well. So there are some nice tools that you can find in GitHub and public repositories, that you create your Terraform, you plan your Terraform stack. So later we are going to do it hands-on lab, and you can scan these tools and check the cost of this infrastructure. For example, if you're going to create some certain EC2 instance, LB, it's everything in this file called tf-state file. Later we are going to check, and you can scan your code and check how much you're going to spend. So it's pretty awesome, right? You can your price before you even deploy the code. So, and the best thing,
Yes.
I love it, the self-documenting. So as a developer, Zach, you also, I hope you love the documenting as well. Whatever you do, you put the command and you document how things going on, and all the steps, everything can be documented. So these are really important. So when it comes to DevOps practices, right? So we talk about a lot of things such as pipeline, CI/CD, so on. So IAC also taking a part. So it's not only one thing. So it combined together, as we spoke last time. It's not a single task or a tool. It's going to be a set of tools, set of process, set of practices and principles. So we can build awesome stuff using everything together. So using these tools. So I think that's the boring talk. And let's get into our setup today. So I'm going to share my screen first, and we'll describe, do a whiteboard session here, and I'll describe what are we going to do and how things are going to work, and so on. So it's going to be multiple screen kind of flickering between here and there. So pardon with me that. Let me set up my screen. So Zach, while that, you want to add something else to here?
Lost your voice, Zach. What was it? Sorry.
I mean, you want to add something here while I'm setting up my screen?
Yes. So the whole fact about how well documented your infrastructure is, right? So that's really a good point, because when you're doing a lot of configurations in your development, you want them in all your environments. And for multiple people working on the same infrastructure, maybe somebody is changing some configuration and you may not know it. But in the production, you have to go out with that specific configuration, and since it's in your infrastructure, it goes through the complete pipeline, and voila, all your environments have the same configuration and the consistency is there, so that even if something's working in your development account, should ideally work in all the specific environments, right? So the
Correct.
consistency, and also when somebody looks into the infrastructure as code, they can understand and see what's what and what are the infrastructure that's used, all the other configurations. So yep.
Yes, and the word is I forgot to mention it's immutability. So it should be immutable. Whatever they are,
Great.
you should be able to should not be able to edit or do anything. So today's setup is really simple. So this will be our first session about the infrastructure as code. So I know there are so many resources over there, and about you can go and learn about this in detail about Terraform, what is CloudFormation. So today's session we are going to use Terraform. So basic, I'll explain a bit of Terraform. Terraform is made by a company called HashiCorp. So it's, I would say, it's one of the famous tool that most of using for build their infrastructure as code. It's very easy, and you can write in a different way, and you can deploy in different way. You can use in different way. So today I'm going to use in a different method, using some workspaces, different backends, so on. So how the Terraform work is like, I have the today setup. I have my PC here, okay, and I have two AWS accounts. This is my dev, and this is my prod. And before go ahead, I'll tell you this is not the best practice in a production to use. So this is sort of acceptable practice that we can use in day to day, but later on while we're doing it, I'll explain why it's not the best practice and what we can do. So hopefully next session we can automate everything in a CI/CD, and single point of place we can deploy these things in different accounts, so we can show. So these two accounts will be there. So I just wanted to create a VPC, VPC here and VPC here, with two subnets, a public and private subnet. uh, So it will comes with internet gateways, route tables, subnets, the related. If you want to enable the flow logs, so there will be flow logs enabled for these VPC. So if you're not familiar with flow logs, that means when you have a VPC, you can enable this feature called flow log. So all this traffic, the traffic like related to this VPC is going to be in the CloudWatch logs. So you can check whether it's if the traffic is coming from the exact source, delivering to this destination, or it's going to be dropped somewhere. Is it going to accept or deny it? You can see so many nice things in the flow log. So this is really important to troubleshoot when you have doing network troubleshooting. So it's really important you to enable these flow logs to um, troubleshoot in further details to get the data out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to deploy from here my machine to the dev and here. So first we'll deploy the dev, and we'll write. I'm going to write the code with you. Not no magic. We are going through the Terraform documentation, and we are going to write it, and we'll see how we did variabilizing and a few of the things there. So it's easy to, yes, you can um, deploy, and you can keep these things, but you may have a question. Okay, if this configuration as code, if this configuration, right, so there should be a configuration file or somewhere, right, to keep this file. So yes, in Terraform we have a file called state file. So this state file should be stored in a secure place to use it, and should be locked, because imagine I'm working on this code here, and me and Zach both Zachs working on the same infra code. And what if we are going to deploy the same time and it be a conflict, right? So the state file should come with a lock. So as a best practice in AWS, we can use S3. So S3 is an object storage, bucket. So we can keep our state file here in the S3. Right, Zach? So, sorry, give me a minute. I'm getting some urgent call. Okay, nothing urgent, sorry. So, I'm going to create S3 file here also, here. Keep the state. But I want to lock my state should be locked as well. So I'm going to create a DynamoDB table. Here, table. And here also I'm going to be Dynamo table. So you see, right? I'm creating two different resources here. So that's why previously I mentioned it's not the best practice, but even though it's acceptable because we are going to store our state file over some of the there, and it's going to be encrypted, and I'll show the configuration later. So this is how we are going to store our state file today. And before the demo, I already did, because always there's a demo. There are some things always going on. So to make sure to prevent some errors and the time that we're going to spend, right? So I thought of, okay, to do that first, and later I will go with you guys to deploy the resources. So today main target is to create this VPC and subnet. I'll show you how easy to do it using Terraform with using the models. So later we can see it. So these are the two S3 buckets and this one. So the next session is going to be really interesting. What I'm going to do, keep in mind, I'm going to create, I'll be having another AWS account in my OU, infrastructure, or maybe DevOps account. You can name it anything you want. I'm going to create the S3 here and the DynamoDB here also. So I'm not going to duplicate these resources. We'll be create one account to store everything, and we can deploy multiple accounts like this. Another account, maybe Zach's another account. We can use it somewhere here. We can use it. So this will be our next one. So rather we waste the time, we'll go to the code back. So okay. So this is kind of a structure of the Terraform code. So this session is mainly not to...
Zach, can you zoom in a bit?
Wait. We can zoom it, right? I forget the shortcut. It's... you remember what the shortcut for zooming?
It should be Command and plus. Command Shift plus. Yeah.
Okay, yes, Command Shift plus.
Yep.
Can see now?
One or two levels is good. Yeah, this is good.
Perfect, right? Nice.
Yep.
If you want, I can go one more one. Okay, I think this is much better. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see these log files because it's already executed. So let's go one by one. So don't worry. Later you can, if you have any question, you can put in the comment, or later in the YouTube you can put in the comments. And I'm pretty sure there are so many resources, and there are other awesome community builders are there. They have done so many things related to deep dive into Terraform. So this session is mainly about first step. You're going to into the IAC, and I'm going to show you some tips and the tricks in here, and show some of the awesome things. So don't worry. So okay, so here we need S3 bucket here. and we need DynamoDB here, right? So what we're going to do, this is my DynamoDB. Okay, so I'm basically creating the resource, DynamoDB. How you can check these things? Okay, Zach already shared a link. It's very easy. You can go to the Terraform documents, something called registry, Terraform registry. So, which has awesome, nice stuff. I will change my screen size. Can see, right? Nice.
Yep.
Perfect. So, see how we are going to create the resource and what are the argument it's supporting and the attribute references. So everything we provide here. So it's not only the AWS DynamoDB. So whatever, if you want to use a transit gateway, or maybe API gateway. Okay, so you see, right? If you want to create API gateway, how the resource is creating. So resource name should be here. I mean, what's the resource type? And the name of the resource, like is a demo, right? So you can put whatever name and so on. Different resource come the different ways. So this is, you can see a policy and you can see some names here, so on. So later on the code, I will go through all of these things. So here, what we need, so Zach is very expert about the serverless and the DynamoDB. So anything related to things, so you can ask from Zach. So here, according to the Terraform requirements, basically we are creating a key as loc ID and it's a string. So here, the name I have variabilized it because the reason, later you'll see, I'm not recreating my code again and again for all of the accounts. I'm just going to create a set of one code base to deploy to multiple accounts. So later on, we can use the variables to pass it and create a different names according to the environment. And S3 is very simple. We are creating S3 bucket. So make sure S3 is a global resource. You cannot have duplicate S3 names. So it should be unique. So always you can have your own set of the way of the naming it. So here what I'm doing is I'm putting the account ID and profile name. So once we created this resource, it's going to be the profile. Maybe my profile is UAT or dev and hyphen the account ID hyphen Terraform backend. So account ID is unique for my account. So no others can have it. So it's going to be definitely unique name for my S3 bucket, which is already created. But I just want to make sure to show everything. So object lock should be enabled because of the immutability of the resources. So make sure to enable the object lock. So you may think from where I took these things. This guy is showing different variables, some syntax. So from where this guys took it? Nothing, no magic. So rewrite. If I go to this S3 bucket resource here, so everything is in their document. It's I must say, Zach, the one of the favorite documentation is Terraform documentation. It's
Easy to
really
search.
really easy to understand, easy to search,
Right.
easy to understand. It's really good examples are there. So when you go down, so each and examples are here, right? So what I can do is I can go for the I will search for lock. So object lock configuration. And if I want to go for S3 bucket login, so how to do the login. So everything is here like examples, and you can use whatever things are here. And okay, this one is for server-side encryption. S3 you can be encrypted in a different server-side encryption. Here I'm using the S3 default one is 256. But if you want to have your own KMS key, yes, it's still possible. You can create a KMS key and or you can use the existing KMS key and you can encrypt your bucket as well. And the versioning. So I have enabled the version because even though we do automation, right, we can do mistakes. So we have to make sure, we have to, if anything goes wrong, we have to able to roll back the changes. So if you have enabled the versioning configuration, you can go for the previous version of it. So that's one of the awesome thing. So now we'll go to the one, and we see the S3 now. Okay, for the backend, we're still talking about the backend to keep the state file and the DynamoDB. So the state file is here, but it's in the S3 bucket. So I'll go to my AWS account. So I have 3 accounts. So I'll go to this 3 of my dev. And this my buckets created. So you see, my bucket name is my account number and my profile. So how I did it. So in variables, so actually when I created when I executed the Terraform, I pass it my variable name as dev. So that's why it's like that. And how I took the account number, I'll show you that later in a while. So if I go to the environment,
Okay, so looks like there was an internet hiccup. So yeah, you're back, Zach.
can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so the main TF files here. So this is the state file I was talking about. So all the configurations and everything saved here. So later we'll be sharing this entire report with the instruction. You can try it your own, and or else you can find. Like you can do your own thing, like different resources. So again, back to this code. So there's our pass variable. So again, you saw here, I was using another one called my account ID. So Terraform, what you can do, you can have a set called data. So data is what basically you say is that if you want to if you want to import some resources from another state file or another resources, so you can create a set of data to import to your current code. So here I'm basically just this call identity, the method. What I'm going to do, what I'm trying to do is I'm taking the current account information, and another thing is called locals. Locals is basically used to prevent uh, duplicate your code everywhere. So basically, you can create one local here, and you can assign a variable here to get the data here. This call identity current, and sorry, here as current account ID. So this current will pass few of the resources. So account ID is one of that. So here I'm really easy to see, right? It's not a mess. I'm just taking the account ID as here. So later, when I want to use this account ID somewhere, so basically what I'm doing is I just local, and I'm taking from the local, and I'm taking the account ID. So basically account ID. So if I have anything, something like I wanted to the tag, I can put a tag here, and I'll just that maybe department. I'll put as department, and I release maybe IP. It's a common thing. So you can use this again here as local dot something like that. So later we're going to go deep and gonna check these things. So I'm gonna okay. So we needed
Zach,
this.
just a question.
Yeah.
So the tag that you were trying to add. So is it similar like resource tags? What's the whole story around tags?
Yes. This tag is around resource tag. So see here, right? This is a VPC stack which I created. So it's basically there are two things that when you create the resource, you can create a tag, for example, like name, and you can have them common tags, right? So each resource can have unique tags and some common tags. For example, these resources for the team, maybe the environment. So there are things called like common tags. So this tag solve method is really easy. That later I'll show you, and you can basically call this in any resource. So basically, it will automatically add these resource tags to all the resources. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll go to the whiteboard. I'll explain that one. I think it's easy. So maybe you have we are going to create the EC2 instance, and we wanted RDS. Okay, and this one you can have a tag called name, right? Name equal some front end. This one also can have a unique tag because these resources are unique, right? Name going to be RDS hyphen front end DB something, but these both can have common tags, right? For example, what's the department, what is the environment, and the team. For example, if you have any other common tags, maybe the region or whatever. So these things can be segregated separately, and you can assign here. So that's why I'm doing using the tag now. Yeah.
And also, tags are very helpful in terms when you're trying to do a cost analysis. So, like, okay, this environment and this is your cost related to it. So, yeah.
Definitely. And one more thing about that, yes, because whenever you create your resource, right, you make sure you create the tags because later the resource. What the service name? I forgot it. Oh, they changed the console, right? So there's a service that you can see all the tags in one place. What is that resource name, Zach?
Resource groups. Resource groups.
Resource group, right? Resource group, right? Okay. So here you can create the resource group, and you can with tag base you can get the resource. For example, you are creating in your test account, you are creating multiple resources in different regions here, and you forgot to delete, and you may see a different like a huge bill. That means you forgot to delete, right? So if you're creating a tag base here, like Zach mentioned, you can see which resource is creating which region, and you can make sure to clean it later. So resource groups are really important when you're creating. So don't take tags as a simple thing, because take it serious and make sure you add tags. So I'll give you another example with tags. If you want to automate things, such example, so okay, here I mentioned here the EC2 instance and the RDS, right? So imagine this one is for development. So if you're setting up the env as dev here, the tag, and you can create automation to shut down if the environment is equal to dev. After 6 o'clock, you shut down. Weekdays, you switch it on around 8 o'clock, 8:30 or 9, and evening, you 6 o'clock, you shut it down. So you can save the cost by automating things. So tags are can be used every day-to-day basis for doing a lot of things. So while I'm doing, Zach, if you have any other example, you can share with that as well.
Yeah. So, in terms of what you're mentioning about scheduling a specific instance to be shut down when you don't need it and all, it helps in cost saving. So you don't need a dev environment always running, or you
Right.
don't need specific environments always running. So yeah, you can shut it down. And also when you're trying to group a lot of things, when you're working with multiple accounts, you know that okay, this tag and this account, you can easily identify where this whole cost is coming from, right? So yeah.
Yes, correct. Okay, so we created our two backends here. So we have our X3 and DynamoDB. So let's see a few of the other files. So there are a few files. Don't be confused. For a first timer, this may be confused, uh, but hopefully later on you can understand what these all files are, because I can put everything in one file, but it's not going to be a good practice to segregate things. So that's why so you mentioned why these guys using a data here and again a local file here. Again, the local I'm calling somewhere here. But if you want to have a best practice and if you want to segregate things, this is the way we have to do it. So it's easy to do it. And as a provider, Terraform, we are using AWS. And the main things we need the profile, because my AWS credential size stores is in profiles. And those profiles, I'm going to use it later when executing it, and the region. So I'm using US East 1 with North Virginia for now. And output, basically, it's kind of the export of the resource names or resource ARNs, whatever the things we can output and like export it uh, to another file, and it will be there in the state file. So not today, later on other sessions, I will show you why this is really important and how we can map different stacks. For example, today we create the VPC, right? And I want to create EC2 instance. For the EC2 instance, I need a VPC and subnets to create these EC2 on top of, right? So I don't need to go and create or manually enter this data. So basically, I can call this output file and I can get the information from there, the whatever like such as VPC instance ID, VPC ID and subnet and security group, so on. I can get resources. So it's bit maybe after one or two sessions we can talk about that. And you can see there's a backend. So here I'm using the backend as S3. So that's why I showed you before. I am creating my state file inside the backend as a backend and creating my state file inside that. So here, two more files. So dev baconf and prod baconf. So basically, what are these two files? So basically, initially when you're creating this, you cannot have these two files and this one, because you have to create your resources locally first, because you don't have initially S3 bucket or your DynamoDB. So you may have a question, how I'm going to do it. So don't do it manually. So basically, what we can do, we can just comment this and execute it. So it will create a state file in the locally, and whatever file I showed you before, it will create here locally. So this file is not that file. It's basically a reference from the state file in S3 bucket. So after you creating these resources, you can add that table name, bucket name and the Dynamo table name here and your key file here. So basically terraform.tf state file, and you can configure the Terraform again. So it will identify, okay, the backend is changed, and it will store everything inside this S3 bucket after that. So after that, you can basically continue using this one. So that's why we have two files, one for the dev, one for the prod. So I'm segregating it using the variables such as variables, because I can use the same code again and again. And from the backend, that's it. Nothing much. Basically, I'm creating simply DynamoDB and S3 bucket to keep the state. So that's all. So we'll be going to the our subnet. Yes. So here we have main.tf. Later we are going to add our Terraform code to create our VPC. And I'm having some locals. So previously Zach asked the tags, right? So I'm going to use these tags all to add these into my VPC. And I have one more thing like a backend. So previously, remember, right? From our backend configuration, I have the dev backend and I have the prod backend. So we are going to deploy into 2 accounts. And I have output. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to export my VPC ID later. So I was testing that one, so this should be there. So later we'll do it again. Sorry, because every time when there's a demo, right, we always test before we do the demo. And I have few variables here. What I'm going to do, I need my AWS profile, the region, the team, and env. The TM env basically for my my tags. So any variables. So basically, what you can do, any variables you can get as. So if you're using VS Code, install the Terraform plugin. So basically, you can install this Terraform, HashiCorp Terraform. So
That's the
it's
one.
really
Yeah.
nice. That's the one, right? So it's nice. So if you can just paste the link here, Zach, so others can download it.
Yes.
So it's really easy, and it will suggest you to do the next steps, and so many things, and can check the syntax as well. And apart from that, I have the provider as usual, AWS, and I have my variables and the version, because version is really important. If you're using certain modules in Terraform, the version is really critical. You make sure the version is equal to in their documentation before you go and deploy things. So everything should be documented here. So make sure your version and everything is check before doing it. So if you're using the same code like for like a few months, so make sure it's not duplicated. You have to keep update the code according to the latest versions. So that's all of it about the REST files, and the variables are there. So later I'll show you why the variables are like this here. So rather you type in your terminal, you can just pass the variable in a file. So when you're doing a CI/CD, you can whatever the CI/CD platform you're going to use, you can have your own variables inside, right? So you can pass according to whatever the things you want. So this one of pro, dev, and prod, we have. So the prod, I never created the file yet. So later we can create it. So let's go and do our VPC. So I'm just going to Terraform. I'm going to Terraform. Okay, that should model. Okay, so it's a VPC, it's a module. So basically what Terraform modules base is like, you can write in a module base and you can source it. So basically all the resources are not supported in the module base yet, but some of the resources are available as modules. So it's really easy that it's already done. If you go to this repo here, right? So everything is done in a way that human-friendly method to write it. So I'll show you why this modular import are easy than rather than creating in a manual way. So let's go and we'll take this block, and we are not going to use the same thing, but we'll be changing different. Okay, so I'm going to source this model. So since we are using Terraform, it's intelligent, and it knows that we are using this model, and it will basically kind of clone it later to here to the entire model to use it later. So name, what I can do, I'm not going to use this one. So I'm going to use, like I mentioned before, I want to be unique. So I'm going to use my variable. And in my variable file, if you go there, I can get maybe env or profile. So I will go with my env. Sorry, env and VPC. So the later I was expecting something like my env, for example, the development hyphen env later. The cider, we no need to put like this. So basically what we can do, we'll use the same cider range here, but we are not going to use the exact same because the production we might going to use a different way. So what we can do, we can create a variable here. It's very simple. And VPC cider. Okay, so we can put a description as cider range of the VPC, and it's so there are a few types. So this is string. There you can use list, strings, and nested list. There's so many data types are there. So later I'll share the Zach can help to share the document related documents later. And so the default, I'm just going to keep it blank because I'm going to pass this through my later the variable file. So here I'm going to use this cider and like this. So I'm passing this, injecting this variable file when I'm executing this Terraform command, but I have to define the variable here before I'm doing it. So it will be use this cider here. So basically, yeah, what I can do r dot see cider. It's clean, right? So see, it's very simple. And these things, yes, we'll do it. We can chain these AZs as well. So, and the subnets as well. So, okay. So what we can do, we'll go and do these. And so this is going to the private subnet. So I'm going to create a variable and private subnet, short form A, and I'm not going to use the description. It's not a must, but I'm just going to use, I'm just skip the description because of the time. I'm just going to read the rest. Default. And this, some values like this, right? Sorry, it's not here. Some values like this, you can do it in a list and you can pass it and like a for each, and you can call it as well. So it's a bit different way of calling it. But since it's a first session and it should be very simple, so that's I don't want to make it more complicated today. So I'm going to get another variable, and this variable is going to be private subnet B, and type is going to be string, and the default like this. Another variable I'm going to create private subnet C, type string. Okay, so I'm not going to type each and everything now to save some time. So I'm just going to rename it to public because I need 3 public subnets as well. E and C. So you see, right? So we have six subnets, A, B, C, private, and A. Wait, I think I missed one. Private A, B, C, public A,
like
B, C.
ABC.
Okay, should be six there, right? Nice. And we save it, and we'll go to default here, and go private subnet A. And we'll go to the private subnet B. And we'll go to the private subnet C. I hope when you're doing before subnetting, right, you should have a proper network knowledge to do the subnets, because it's yeah. So maybe, I don't know, you comment what are the things you want to know, because I know it's very vast area, and within like 1 hour we cannot cover everything. So that's why we try to fast as possible. And so this one will go like this. A and B and
So Zach, I know that you're
yes,
setting a default value as well, and then you're even mentioning a
oh,
locals
sorry.
variable with some values, right?
Yes,
So
sorry,
yeah.
my bad. It should be here.
So
Good,
here,
good, good.
so just for instance,
Yeah, you can set up the variable there as well. So, for example, right?
so
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so here you're already mentioning a default. So do we have to
Yeah.
mention in our locals variable as well, like, or if you don't mention it, does it pick up from the default?
No, it won't. We have to mention. We have to basically what you call define a variable here.
Okay.
Okay, because otherwise it won't pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Yep.
Oh, did I answer your question?
But yeah. So I get the point of if you don't specify a default value, it doesn't pick up. But say for example, we add a value here, right? In variables.tf, we add a value as a default.
Hmm.
So do we have to mention it in dev.tf variables? Do we have to mention that,
Oh, no
or
need. No need. Then what will happen? What is executing, right? It will pop up and ask what is the okay. If I skip it, this one. Okay,
Mhm.
if imagine this one is not there. So for this variable, right? It will ask when we are in the command line. It will ask what is the type the default value here. So when I'm executing it in the command line, if I miss it here, because it's basically injecting the variables here, right?
Mhm.
And if I'm using this public subnet C here, and I'm defining it, and when I'm executing, I'm missing that one here. So that means it will ask to type the variable, because I am already uh, defining the variable here. So it's really important to understand.
Got it.
Got it? Okay,
Got
yeah.
it. Got it. Got it.
And
Yep.
uh, yes, and if other way around, it won't work, because you have to define the variable as a variable like this. As a variable.
Mhm.
See, you should define a variable block. So see, right? Example, CLI, TFAB, file environment variable or module. So you have to pass the argument. Oh, sorry.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. So I am passing here. So this is my variable. So we'll go here. It's very simple. And what we can do, because it's a string, right? So we can, um, well, so I'm copy pasting for keep save the time. So almost 1 hour, right? So um, So see, variable private subnet A, subnet B, and subnet C. And here it'll be public. Okay, right? And these variables, right? So, okay, the tags, right? Remember, I was talking the tags. So here, what I can do, I don't need to write the tags, all the list if I have multiple resources. What I can do, I can just see here, local tags all. See how neat?
Awesome. So it imports all the tags that's defined.
Yes. Sorry, this is the top on local. We'll close these things. Okay, this is correct local. So,
Yes,
so all
that's
the
the
text will
one.
be come here. It will come here, and yeah, that's how we can easily do it. So you see here, they are using a module, so that's a different. And enable net gateway true. So basically, what will happen? If you go to the input here, wait. Enable net gateway is a boolean. Default is false. So I need to enable net gateway. Otherwise, no internet for the public subnet, private subnet. So I need internet in my private subnet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to enable it. So VPN gateway, it's not a must. I'm just keeping it. And so on. You can see a lot of things here. Flow logs. See so many so if I create this one as true here, so it will create the Flowlogs CloudForge IAM role, and it will able to create the flow logs. So there are so many things. So if you want to create the internet gateway, it's creating default is true. But if you don't want to create, okay, let's assume Zach, you wanted to create a totally private subnet and you don't need anything related to internet. So basically, what you can do, you can set the internet gateway to false. So that's the beauty of the modules. So if not, if you're going in resource method like before,
Awesome.
wait, yeah. So you have to create the resource in separately. Like for example, for
Got it. Got it.
got it right. Resource etc. So if you're going in this method, you have to mention everything. Like you have to if you're going here the VPC, so the default VPC and the subnet, you have to mention what are the subnet and which zone, and for example the network wait, security groups and the root table. Especially the root tables is is a mess, right? So always you have to make sure your root table is correctly assigned. So you have to create these things separately. But if you're going through the model, no need, it will create everything automatically. So that's the beauty of the Terraform modules. So you see my code is entered just 14 lines. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a VPC with the relevant side range I mentioned and deploy it in all these. Okay, we have to make sure because this code comes with EU. So the region is 1A. And B and 1C, and we have three available zones, and we have three public subnets and private subnets, and we are enabling the net gateway, and we are adding some tags. That's it. So this will create a few resources. We'll go back to this one, and we are going to create the VPC, and we are going to create the subnet. So basically, how many subnets, Zach? All 336, right?
Three are there.
Yeah, 6 subnets
3 public,
and
3 private.
private. Yes, and root tables. And the root should be automatically assigned, and the net gateway. So these things should be created. Is creating it. Actually, we can create the net gateway. It will take some time, but it's okay. We'll go with the flow. No worries. And I will be here. So my 4 files already here. So basically, Terraform.
Zarek, you want to zoom in again on the terminal? It's
I
not readable.
can. Yes. I think I can do the same right here. Oops, it's not working like that. Right now, I'll check. Okay. And right?
Yep, that's good. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So So I have a workspace. This Terraform basically it comes with workspaces. I mean, you can create the workspaces to segregate your environments. So I've created as a dev. So all what I would do related to dev workspace, I'll be creating on the dev workspace. So this really nice thing, it's with Terraform actually. So if you're using Terraform, make sure you do it on workspace method. So it's really easy to identify your resources in a workspace method. So I have my dev workspace already, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically plan my uh, uh, Terraform codependency. So I use Terraform plan. So this will give me a list of resource which I'm going to create here. And okay, before that, okay, I think before Terraform init, I no need to show the init because I have my script already here, I think. Because the dev environment already tested, right? So when I'm creating the production, after that, I'll be creating the production environment. So then I can show you the here. So I'll do the plan first. So I can just pass my variable file here. And hopefully it will work. So see, it's accurate the state lock. So now it's communicating the table. Since I'm in Singapore and the West region, right? So there's some lag there. Okay, fine, nice. So it's going to be create 28 resources. Oh, nice. See, it's very interesting. Oh. So first thing, okay. See, right, Zach, you know about the elastic IPs, right? So if you're creating
Correct.
manually for your net gateway, you need the elastic IP, right? And you have to assign that elastic IP. So when I'm using the method of this module, right, I just mentioned enable the net gateway true. That's it. So the rest of the
So
things will be
everything
handled by the model like
happens.
Terraform. Yes, correct.
Awesome. That's. I
Yes,
mean, as developers and people working with infrastructure, it's
yeah.
very helpful because you don't have to do a lot of configurations in that point, right? So yeah,
Lot of configurations, right?
that's. I mean, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful, right? So see, right, I put the tags, all the method right here. See, it's taking all the tags for all the resources, very relevant resources, taking it. But I'm mentioning here only once here, so I don't have to copy and do it again and again. So these are the resource I'm creating. So see the root tables, the roots, everything is done. I'm just going to apply. Plan will show you the what's going to do from the Terraform. And in the meantime, I'm going to Yes. Hopefully it will create without any errors. Fingers crossed.
So what all things are happening under the hood when you're doing this? I
So
do see a
basically,
lot of things.
a lot of things. So basically, right, the model VPC is calling the internet gateway and creating the route table for public, the private. Oops. Okay, nothing to panic. Okay, so basically, see, right?
The
I copied
cider
the
is
cider. Yes, it's.
yeah.
I think I missed the same cider somewhere. I don't see. Did I miss it somewhere here? No, right? Maybe the name public.
Variable name.
Let's see the variable names. Okay, that's B, private subnet C, public subnet A. Okay, maybe the variable name could be the variable name. All right.
Public. Ah, that's good.
Looks good for
Anything
me.
with the VPC?
Yes. Okay, can be here. Yeah. See.
See a private
Yeah.
A,
Yeah.
private B.
So yeah, I was panicking, right? Because with the time. Okay, so no worries. We can retry again. So that's the beauty of it. So it will lock the state and won't do any changes. So see, this is a beauty. So if you're doing it manually, right, maybe in a chance that you can use in the wrong way. So related to that public, since it's not dependent, so you can do those things. So see, it's basically replacing some of the values.
Perfect.
Actually, it's
Okay,
way,
so just a question.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So some things like this happen and it errors up. So does the whole rollback or how does it whole
No, it won't roll back the
work?
entire thing
Like,
because
does it
okay,
roll
yes. So
back?
I think sorry, the line is breaking.
Yep. Can you hear me?
I think yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your question? The rollback, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So if it's not dependent by some other resources, right? It won't be any issues. It will create the rest of the resources. But if it's anything dependent, it won't be creating it. So yes. But you see in CloudFormation, right? There's a thing called rollback. So not recently, a couple of months ago, they released that you can lock it. Basically, no need to roll back the entire stack. So whatever the created, whatever the resources successfully created, you can keep it, and you can work on the rest, which has the errors. So let's see. Is correct C, subnet B, subnet C. Okay. So this time it's saying AWS subnet line 342 to the module. Okay.
Something with subnet A is
Yes. I'm sure it's okay. Nothing to worry. So what we do, we'll maybe something from the subnet, right?
it's with the subnet A
Yeah, I'll
cider
try.
itself. So, yeah, something
Yeah,
with that. Yeah.
we'll go. We'll go to the console and we'll go to the VPC. I think I will. Okay, I'll change it to Virginia here. Sorry guys, we had to go beyond more than 1 hour. So development VPC, because that's my VPC should be. Okay, but I can see it's created to public. I don't know why it's in conflict. We'll try again. If not, we'll destroy and we'll do it again. That's the beauty of Terraform or whatever the IAC. Okay, seems like now
So
okay.
it's creating. Okay, created
Go and
complete.
see here. Oh, can see. Okay, created. See, A61 created. Yes. Now it's associating with
Awesome.
the root tables. Nice. So if you go to the root tables, right? Here. So tree private. I see less associating. Okay, subnet. So for public, so the public subnets associated to this one. So each and every private you can see for the B1. I think I will make my screen a little bit bigger. Okay. So the B is assigned to B.
Yeah.
So C is on C. So region there. And if you go to the net gateway, so you see net gateway deployed for each of every region. So it's very costly, right? If you have a dev environment. So I wanted to show you something really important here, and I will show here net gateway, single net gateway. Okay, so one net gateway per AZ. If you put it false, right? So you don't want to create net gateway per AZ, right? So if you go to if you want to set up like one net gateway per AZ, you can use this. So here my setup, right? Still it's creating because net gateway will take some time to create because it's EC2 instance, right? That's why it's created. Sorry. Net gateways. So basically, later I will be destroying everything. Otherwise, I will be getting a big bill. But no worries. I'm using thanks to AWS Community Builder program. So this is my second year, right?
Credits.
So I got like $500,000 credit. So I'm using those credits to do these things. So no worries about that. So while it's creating, we'll go and prepare our production account now. Okay. What I'm going to do is only one thing. So I'm just going to go set the time. I'm just going to copy this one. They're fast, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do prod fast, and environment going to be production, and let's use the different cider so we can show our audience that we have a different side range. And so yeah, nothing much. That's it. I did. So if you're using a CI pipeline, you can change your variables there. That's it. And I have the production backend. So this one I will show you because the importance of it. Okay, nice. So okay, I forgot to do something.
Release state lock.
Nope. So everything is okay. Nothing to worry. But the output, right? So I wanted to print the output, but okay, I'm gonna apply it again because nothing will change. It will that's output my VPCI because these outputs are really important, as I mentioned before. If I want to use this stack to access from another stack these resources, the outputs are really important later.
So when
we
you're
can do it.
using nested stacks and when you want to
Correct.
reference
Exactly.
different ARNs and all, outputs helps with those.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. So changes only, I have nothing to change. The only change is there will be output. Since it knows the stack, it knows my output, it's showing like this. So when we're doing the production, we'll show you how it happens. So it will run. So that's it. So what we're expecting, we need to create a VPC decider 100 range, not the 10 range. And these are my private public subnets, and my environment is production, and my AWS profile is dev. Because okay, you have to make sure to change it because my credentials are in profile for the production. They will in dev profile. Okay, so let it go. This one. Let me go to the console again, and I'll go to my VPC. So you can see my VPC name is deploy development.vpc. The rest of the tags also here is for front end T. And if I go to my code back, where is my VPC here? So see, right, one name. It's the production or development, whatever here, and hyphen VPC. So that's how it's created the name. Cool. All with me. So CC VPC ID is output here. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we are going to chain the backend. So I'm going to init. That means you have to initialize your Terraform code to your production setup. So since I have deploy, I'm going to my production account now. I think I deployed my S3 bucket and other stuff over there earlier. So you can see the only default VPC is there. If you go to S3. My bucket is there, which I created like today. In Singapore time, like some 6 around for testing. And if you go to the tables, my dynamo table also here. So it's also automated. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to I'm going to init it, Terraform init, initialize it. So my backend config is prod backend, right? Yeah, prod backend, yes. But conf, I'm going to reconfigure. Prod backend, right? Let me double check my files. Okay, so if you see Terraform, you want to see the day one because day one is not in the state file, so it's still a default. It's a nothing. It's a new vanilla setup. It's nothing there. So I can create a new workspace if you want. New prod. Okay. Terraform. Plan it. See, it said some time. I create as prod, right?
Yes.
We'll let me see. apologize for the time. So you say, right? So last time, Zach, the VP side was there because I added that those values after I created the stack, because the stack it knows. Now it doesn't know what the VP side is going to be known after apply. So same thing, it's going to be create. So you see the tags are different now. It's going to be production because it's a production account. I'm not going to waste more time. I'm just going to apply it. So I spent around like 30 minutes to explain, maybe more than that, to you, the dev one. So the production, I am doing it less than 10 minutes, correct? So this is the importance of IAC. So guys, even though it's a small thing, it's better to use IAC to do it. It doesn't matter you want to do it Terraform way. If you want to do in CloudFormation, you can do it. Even though Terraform, you can do in different methods. So this is the one I family and I most like, because Terraform is really easy. Even the modules, right? You see, I don't have to mention all and each resources, but sometimes you may have to do it if there's a module. But it's open. Like you guys can write your own module and collaborate. So later on, what we can do, me and Zach thought of publish this everything to a repo and publish in GitHub, so everyone can access it. We'll put some good documentation. So later on, whatever the demo we are going to doing it, we are going to fulfill that. So we'll be having a public place you guys to clone it and play around. So basically everything is created. The net gateway, it will take some time to create. If I go to my production account here, and if I go to the VPC, yeah, for my Mac, it's not that much good. I'm using two 4K monitors to attach to that. Sometimes getting stuck.
Happens.
Yes. So see, my production VPC is here, and my subnets. Wow, nice. I have 3 of private and 3 of public, and my root tables are here, and the default one. So I have public, so roots. So it's connected to the internet gateway, and the private, it's connected. Still NAT gateway is creating. That's why it's not attached here. The later on you can see it will attach here as well. So right. If you guys need any session another day with networking, I can do some awesome stuff. We can go deep dive about AWS networking. It's really, really interesting and important area, I would say. The networking should be, it's the core and heart of the cloud, right? You should be able to understand this very well. So I'm not going each and everything to explain, because it may take another maybe few days to explain. So Zach, what do you think?
So we can plan up some more sessions. Yeah. Yes. I was getting to that point.
Yes, because recently I was working on some new tools like Aws Network Firewall, which is really awesome. So basically you can monitor, and you can block your traffic, or you can inspect your traffic. So network firewall also really nice tool with AWS, and you can set of rules from like other vendors in the market, from the security appliances. So I think that would be a very nice stuff, but a bit advanced. Maybe before that we can go for a basic network setup, and we can do the routing. So see, the net gateway is here, Zach. Nice. Yep.
This is still
so I think it's done. See, my VP ID is
done,
here. Yes, and I am going back to my development account. Even though if you're using a personal setup, please go with OU. So you can segregate your setup. Even though if you have a demo in the a different one, you can basically show it. And if you want to use a multi-AZ setup, because we can do a session about the OU. So if you have OU, you don't have to pay for like each and every account. Basically, it's the same bill you're going to pay for what are the resources you're going to use. So if you have multiple accounts, that doesn't mean you have to pay multiple times. No. So it's easy.
It's
You
one
can segregate your things.
consolidated bill, and
Yes,
also there is
exactly.
some perks with respect to reserved instances, I guess, right?
Yes, correct. If you have reserve RI, reserve instance, you can share among your groups. And for security, you can grandfather your policies from the top level to the bottom. So it's very nice. So what I'm going to do now is done. So I'm going to init my configuration back to my dev. Okay. So basically, I calling my dev configuration for the backend. Okay, so see, now the state file contains some few of the workspace. It's asking which workspace you want. Yes, I need the dev. Nice. So now time to my favorite part. Let's destroy. So
It's important to destroy after you're done, right? So yeah.
yes, because I don't want to waste my credits for this because I mean, like wasting means if I leave it around, it's going to be charged for my net gateways very expensive because then I deployed like 6 net gateways. It's going to be very expensive for me, right? So I need more that credit to do some other nice stuff. So apologize if I made it bit confused. So like if I didn't probably make you things very easy to understand, but I think we also can learn. So that's a main part of DevOps, right? You share the feedback. So if anything, if you feel like okay, Zach, you need to improve on this side, please put in the comment. So I'll take it as a very positive feedback, and I'll improve myself. Right, Zach?
Yes. So it's all going agile.
Yes. So I'm going to delete there. Later I will do product ourselves. So I'm going to show you. So there's a command called devo. So the Terraform destroy. So I'm going to destroy my stack now. It will read the state file. So I'm actually locking it. So in case if the same stack, if my colleague the Zach is working, so he won't be able to do anything. So I'm going to delete all resources. Remember, right? It was created to enter the resource, and I was going to delete it. So this red icon with this delete means it's deleting. If there's a plus means it's adding. Yes. So I'm basically okay. So my root tables are and my subnets, everything's going. Bye bye.
Yep,
If I
destruction completed.
go to here, yes, still there because first it will delete the dependencies and it will come to here first. So you see root table's gone. Subnets only public still there because the net gateway should be there. So
In the
it will wait until
process.
net gate to delete. Yes, it's deleting in the process.
Yes.
Yes, so I think we took more 30 minutes. I apologize for that. But I hope this is kind of interesting, all the setup. So we'll wrap it up. So what we have done is today, we created 2 AWS accounts. We had 2 AWS account and we deployed VPC to both the AWS account. And our state file we saved in S3 bucket with a lock of DynamoDB. So that's what we did. And few of things we discussed about the tagging and so on about Terraform. That's more into Terraform. So, but we wanted to show you guys in practical, not more into Terraform. I mean, like we will do, sure, but more into what is IAC and import of IC. So if you want to take something from this, what you can take is you see the time I spent to deploy the production without any issues. So with few seconds, depending on the resource, it took a few minutes to deploy to me, right? So that's the beauty of it about the IAC. So don't misjudge. There's nothing to talk about terraforming deeply or anything. So this mainly we wanted to focus the IAC to show you guys how important, how fascinated, and how awesome these IACs are. So it's destroyed.
So
Yay.
although we took some time for development, production was in a jiffy, is what I would say, right? So yeah,
Yes, yes. And all the things are inside the code. So while you guys
exactly.
say, I'm going to destroy my prod drive, this one as well, because yep. So I think this one will take some time, so I don't want to waste your time. So Zach, anything to share or anything awesome things coming up? It's your side.
I believe we are good. So we had a good session about how to manage your infrastructure with IAC, and probably we'll have more incoming with respect to networking and building more on IAC. So yeah,
Correct.
and also if anyone is looking out for a session of a specific topic, do leave us a comment or reach us on Twitter or anything so that we could plan and we could have a session about it. So yeah.
Correct. Yes. So yes, and any feedback, like I mentioned before, please share it because we are more than happy to take it as feedbacks and improve ourselves. So it's we can deliver some awesome stuff. And there are awesome things are coming up. So the community side with AWS. So many things are going on. So Zach, you know that we already started
Yes.
the AWS user group in person. So next week, 26th of July, it's happening from 7 to 9. So if you're in Meetup, let me share the screen. Sorry, let me share the I can find the link. Okay, let me. Okay, nice, awesome.
So if you're in Chennai and if you want to look, you're looking out for a meetup. So here is the meetup link, meetup page, so that you can join in and stay. I mean, you can follow the page, and also you can stay updated with all the updates that's coming out. So yeah, I posted that in the chat.
So my resource, everything there is deleted already.
And even AWS user group Bengaluru is hosting up some
Yeah.
in-person events. So yesterday itself, we had the July meetup that happened, and we had the Joe who was sharing about Droid. So do follow the Bengaluru meetup page as well. Stay tuned. So there's one planned for next month also. So yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So yes. So we created a stack and we destroyed it already. So Zach, did you can you please share this link I put in a chat? I am not
Yes.
logging into the stream yet. You already okay.
Yes.
So
I
you can
did.
see the link. Yes, AWS User Group Singapore. So you can raise the event. So this time we have like awesome three speakers talking about nice three topics. So one is GitOps, one is Carpenter, the EKS cluster auto scaling. So that's going to be really interesting. So yes, I think that's all. So let me take an awesome quick pic, selfie of us. Hi,
Uh,
nice, nice.
awesome.
Awesome. So that's it for the day, right?
Yes. So you can leave your feedback in the comments so that we could improvise on the coming sessions, and also about any topics. Uh, Also, like Zach mentioned, user group Singapore meetup is happening in person. So there is nothing better than an in-person event, right? So head on to the Singapore
Yes.
user group meetup. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, something wrong with connection today. Sorry for that. So
Yes.
I think it's all good. So hope everyone's ready for the Monday tomorrow. So hope you guys had a great weekend. See you in the next session
Have an
with
amazing week ahead.
yes, yes, another show.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we did go a little 35 minutes over the time, so we apologize for that. Thank you, and stay tuned for the upcoming sessions. Have a great week ahead. Bye bye.
Bye bye.